And joining us live this morning via Zoom is U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator Cassidy, good morning to you. It's always great to spend some time with you. There is a lot going on all over the world and here at home. We're going to talk about your big infrastructure bill here in just a minute, but we want to start with your reaction to one of our top stories this morning. State education leaders are meeting today to discuss masks in schools and really who has the authority to mandate them. It comes after the governor said masks are mandated for anyone over the age of 5 in indoor settings. So I guess the question is, and from your expertise as a doctor as well, where should we be and what should come out of today's meeting?
Well, across the nation, schools are having problems with being shut down because of high positivity rates, both among teachers and among students. And so something has to be done or else we won't be in school for another year. Now, the best thing to do is for folks to get vaccinated. If you get vaccinated, that almost always protects you from going to the hospital or dying. If you don't like masks, get vaccinated. There's two types of people: those who have been vaccinated and those who are going to be infected. And if you get infected, you're going to end up in the hospital. You may die. So if you don't like masks, get vaccinated.
Should they be mandated in schools, or should they not be?
If you don't, if you are not vaccinated and you have a rate of infection as high as ours, with intensive care units so full that somebody who has a heart attack can't get treated, somebody who is in a four-wheeler wreck can't get into the ICU, then you got to do something. Right now, we have ICUs that cannot accept patients with heart attacks because they're full of COVID patients. And so if you don't want that to happen, then you gotta wear a mask, but better yet, you gotta get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, you're going to get infected and you may end up in the hospital. I mean, I wish it were different. It's not different. Every day I'm getting calls from people who were anti-vaxxers and now they have a loved one who died or who was in the ICU. A guy yesterday called me. I was an anti-vaxxer. Now I've had 8 people in my church die. What can I do? So if we don't want all this to happen, get vaccinated.
And Senator Cassidy, you were part of that bipartisan group of senators to come up with that largest infrastructure bill in history. So how will this help Louisianians?
Oh my gosh, it'll help Louisiana so much. Think of the quote unquote new Mississippi River Bridge, which is older than both of you. There's going to be $5.8 or $9 billion over 5 years to do something about that bridge and other bridges and roads in our state. And that's 1.2 billion more than we would receive otherwise. And think about the great floods of 2016. There's $3.5 billion to help lower the risk of flooding, targeting areas in our country which have recently flooded. That's us. One more thing to say along those lines. There's $4.5 billion going to Army Corps of Engineers for coastal restoration projects, prioritizing states that have had natural disasters in the last 6 years. Now, it helps when you help write the bill, and I helped write the bill. That provision doesn't say Louisiana like Louis, but it says Louisiana in terms of natural disasters hitting our coastline and the need for coastal restoration. One more thing I'll mention, broadband. $65 billion for every person in our nation to have access to high-speed internet. There are areas in our state that are in the digital stone age. This would bring us all up to speed, literally, with everybody else in the nation. Great for our kids, great for job creation, great for health care, you name it, a lot of benefits from that.
I think that when you talk about fixing traffic, that's probably the most bipartisan issue for folks in Baton Rouge. Everybody wants a fix to the traffic, so that is definitely some good news. Finally, we have about a minute left with you on the issue of Afghanistan. You've been critical of the decision to withdraw and the Biden exit plan. Now that we're here and we're seeing all of these images from across the seas, what happens now?
So clearly we have to evacuate American citizens and our allies. We have a moral obligation to the Afghanis, for example, the interpreters who helped us as we were there helping them. So the Biden administration, I think, has turned this over to the military. I have every confidence that the military will be able to extract but there will be loss of life and there'll be people left behind. That's unfortunate. The president's plan was clearly poorly thought out, poorly executed, and now we have this sort of human crisis. Unfortunately, this is kind of consistent with the president and his administration showing incompetence at the border and in the economy as well. It's unfortunate.
Senator Bill Cassidy, it's always great to spend some time with you. Thank you so much this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.